A world where peeling, slicing and dicing people is considered morally correct, and simulating post-Soviet Russia is as easy as pressing play. To match the whimsical rules of this game, I will become the biggest, meanest and only Cannibal King in Kenshi. Achieving this will include a lot of murder, eating and mental gymnastics. To start this brutal conquest, I have gathered 5 of the worst people on Earth to build the greatest cannibal kingdom ever. And you know the drill, we might not look it, but we are weak as shit and very fucking poor. Before we fix this problem though, we have to move to the actual area where we want to conduct our business, the Cannibal Plains. But we have to get some food first for the journey so we don't die of tummy aches. Yeah, I just bought some food, and by bought I mean I stole it. This is because we aren't even close to being able to beat someone up and eat them yet. Now let's actually start our journey. On the road we'll want to pick up a few things, for example dead bodies, seeing as they can't really help but give all their stuff away to our great cause. And just anything we can really scrape together, seeing as we aren't doing well at all. This will make us not be nude freaks, and it'll help stimulate our economy to later support us in not actually having to do a lot of work. Before we even left the city, I noticed that a bunch of stinky, dirty little hobos were being beaten up by some guards. The reason for getting beat up was that they were poor. So naturally, I swiftly kidnapped them and ran to a safe distance to get a look at the juicy loot. It might not be practical, it might not be culturally accepted, but holy shit, we look fucking cool. With gear and food secured, this journey should go alright. No, it did not go alright. It actually did quite the opposite. After walking for 2 whole minutes, our cannibals met a bunch of headless robots. Were they friendly? No, they promptly started attacking us, and I knew the battle was over as soon as Conrad shot Partey with a crossbow bolt. Is this because Partey sounds like he's French? Probably. Then the robots hit Dougie in the arm so hard that it fell off. Yes, the whole thing just fell off. The gracious robots then put us all softly to bed. And the second that they left our defenseless bodies alone, a gigantic, mutated blood spider came along to try and eat us. Luckily, Ronald's deafening scream seemed to scare it off. When it seemed like we were actually going to survive this encounter, a group of people with fucking albino eyebrows showed up. Were they friendly? No. They beat the fuck out of Ronald and then stole all of our food. All of it. We had nothing now. And then the gods looked down upon us and sent another blood spider. This time Ronald didn't scream quite high enough, so everyone got eaten alive. Let's just say that I did roll back the save, and I painstakingly micromanaged these idiots all the way to the Cannibal Plains so they didn't die to a gust of wind. And finally, we reached the Cannibal Plains. You know, they always say location, 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 but that doesn't really matter when you don't have any real estate and live as a homeless drug addict. To solve this glaring problem, I will build a small shelter to temporarily house our gang. Yes, it does look like a low-income household from Fallout 2, but they do eat people, so they don't probably care about that. Now, the base isn't really that bad. We have accommodations like a gym, a cafeteria, a research table, a lounge, and a singular bed. The only thing we're really missing is food, seeing as we want to recruit more savages into our kingdom, but to do that we have to have food, and to get this food we have to beat people up, which we aren't good at all. So let's hit the gym. The food part was an easy fix after getting our stats up, seeing as we could just put people in cages and eat them alive. When it came to actually recruiting these freaks, I noticed that they are mentally retarded and can't really be negotiated with. But you know what they say? A kingdom is built on the back of 5 people and no more. Also, if you haven't noticed, it kinda looks like we're a society of nude people that use sexual favors, such as making dreads out of each other's ass hair as a form of currency. And to combat these ugly stereotypes that I proudly made, I will get my boys some sick gear and awesome weapons. And to do that, we're gonna kill a lot of fucking cannibals. since the cannibals are complete idiots, their shit was, well, pretty shit. So I just sold all their stuff and bought some real gear with that money. And now that we have the proper attire, let me introduce the gang. Beskar, our heavy hitter, as his intelligence is low, but he uses his large arms to compensate. Dougie, a master of karate with a rad headband. Conrad, master of the ranged arts, an acquirer of fine hats. Partey, a small ugly guy with a weird ass weapon. And lastly, Ronald Feet, who has no pants. Finally, we have the supplies and power to make our kingdom. First question, what does every kingdom need? A big ass castle. Sadly, this is Kenshi, and no matter how much we polish our builds, they always end up looking like a mismanaged hooker on a bad street. Beaten up and sad. But it's not like I'm the one living in it, so I don't really care at all. So, let's start building.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance, crush a speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom.
Now, it might not look like a real castle, seeing as about 50% of the buildings are empty, and we only have 2 buildings. But my people live pretty good lives. They have food, an elite army, hell, I even employed a bunch of skeleton guards since they can't be eaten. And since every kingdom does need a lower class, I ended up gathering a bunch of slaves to do all my manual labor so we can get cool shit like racer chairs. So this message goes out to Mage Guest. Suck my you fucking ugly die in. Finally, we have achieved kingdom status, and now we have to make sure that we are the greatest and only cannibal kingdom. How are we gonna achieve this? Well, that's simple. All of cannibal society is held up by 3 leaders which control the faction. The cannibal grand wizard, the meat lord, and the mighty canhead. If these important political figures were, let's say, beaten up and eaten, the cannibal factions would dissolve and crumble. This would make me the only, and therefore by proxy, the greatest cannibal kingdom. So now I will show you a detailed documentary of how I do this. Yeah, you're getting another fucking montage.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so player. Look out. Second verse for the hustlers, gangsters, bad bitches and your ugly ass friends. I cannot preach, I cannot preach. I gotta show them how I can get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on.
The cannibal cartel has been brutally beat up and imprisoned by my squad. Why do I only have 2 out of the 3? Well, apparently the mighty canhead is some type of nomad that is only sustained by squirrel tails and old people. Seeing as the wiki doesn't say shit about where he is actually located, and that I've looked over half the map without even finding a single trace of him, I assumed that he got so scared that he died as Stalin did by pissing and shitting himself. But he didn't really matter as these 2 are the most important anyway. Some might say that I could end it all here. I became the only and greatest cannibal kingdom, but there are a few things left on my list. This is our arena. This is a naked cannibal lord. The cannibal lord is gonna meet this guy. This guy has a large ass sword. He's also under the influence of a tremendous amount of opioids and black tar heroin. Do you wanna guess what happens next? To the untrained eye, it might look like we were going to eat them. But no, I'm no barbarian. We are simply preparing a large feast. And the guests of honor are no other than the cannibal lords. Yes, I did feed them their own body. But to be honest, it kinda seemed like they liked it. They didn't really react, they just ate it, no questions asked. After this, The cannibals lived long and happy lives. They built up their kingdom and they got many children. Except for Dougie. He had a seizure and died. And he shat himself. Now, you might feel like this was a little short, and it was. There isn't too much else to do. And also, I just got this random hole in my tongue. Like, I just have a fucking hole now. So that's why I sounded a little weird in the end. But hopefully it's gonna go away. As always, do recommend any games in the comments below. I want to play something else than Kenshi. Like and subscribe, and that's it. You can leave now.